Reducing your waste around the kitchen is not only better for the environment, it's also a great way to save some money. Today I'm going to be sharing my top 5 tips for how to reduce your kitchen waste at home. A lot of fruit and vegetable scraps can actually be replanted and even regrown at times. My wife and I have been doing this a ton while we've been at home the last couple of months. Hearts of romaine can be put into water and then actually replanted to regrow into a full head of lettuce. You can also do things like this with green onion, with garlic, with sweet potatoes, all sorts of different vegetables. And so far we've been testing and trying this for the first time, and it's been working really, really well. Another thing that I've been doing lately is using the peels. You know, if you peel potatoes, you can actually fry those up and make chips almost. But if you're peeling apples for something like an apple pie, I know that's specific, but we were making a pie the other day and we tried this. You can actually boil it with spices and sugar and make apple cider just from the normal apple peels that you just throw into the trash. So a lot of these things can be repurposed and reused. You can get more food out of it. You can also just save that waste going into a landfill. Planning and preparation is key to eliminating any food spoilage. You know, I learned a lot of these tricks and tools when I was losing weight because you have to plan a lot of your meals, or at least I did when I was losing weight, in times where you are going to be bulking up and having a stock of extra food. You know, plan out your meals, plan out what you're going to need, what you're going to eat, and don't buy any excess. You know, a lot of times people will just be picking and choosing things that they like or that they think will be good without much rhyme or reason. And that's where you have things expiring in your fridge. You're gonna have to go through and cull and throw out all of this expired food. Plan in advance and prepare. And if you're finding yourself with too many leftovers that you're not going to be able to eat in a safe time frame, you know, put those leftovers in the freezer. It's a great way to save time in the future if you find yourself busy after a long day of work and don't really feel like cooking as well. There are a ton of single-use or disposable items that people use around their kitchens. I've been working hard at this last few years, slowly reducing and chipping away at some of that excess that I've been guilty of in the past. One of my favorite new things that I've picked up is a reusable oil sprayer. I don't know if you're someone that uses non-stick aerosol spray. I have always been a big fan of that for cooking. It's a great way to use oil for cooking, but without having any excess calories. The reusable sprayers are good because 1, you're not having all of those extra bottles going into a landfill, but 2, it's cheaper, and 3, you can actually pick which oil you use. You know, your options are pretty limited with things like PAM or general non-stick spray, but if you get a refillable one, you can fill it with whatever oil that you normally like to cook with. Another thing that I would recommend moving away from is, single-use plastic bags like Ziploc and things along those lines. Use reusable Tupperware if you have it, or another thing that my wife and I have been doing is repurposing, plastic bread bags from loaves of bread or tortillas that we might buy. You can actually use those bags for other things. It's not going to be the prettiest, but it's a great way to repurpose what was otherwise trash and save money and save extra plastic usage from the Ziploc. One last thing in this category, I've talked about it before, but repurposing and reusing old t-shirts as rags to clean up around the kitchen is a great way to reduce your paper towel usage. We used to be really heavy paper towel users for years and years. We've started shifting away from that, and it's crazy how I really don't miss it. So all of those single-use or disposable items around the kitchen, start thinking and brainstorming ways you can eliminate those. It's going to be cheaper, it's going to be better for the environment. Buying local food, whether it be meat or produce or otherwise, is a great way to reduce the environmental impact. I do realize this is cost prohibitive. It's not something I'm typically able to do on a regular basis, but if you have the means, it's a great way to get most likely better tasting food and reduce all of the carbon emissions from the transportation of the food. Getting that food from a farm or a factory to your kitchen is often a very large percentage of the energy usage to make that food and have it ready for you. So if you have the means and are in a good location for it, buying those local goods is a great way to reduce on all of that excess transportation cost. This is an obvious but important one. Cooking things from scratch is a great way to reduce a lot of excess packaging waste and a great way to save a ton of money around your kitchen. I don't cook absolutely everything from scratch, but I try and do as much as possible. It's a great way to introduce a new hobby. A lot of times it's even more delicious than if you were to buy it from the store, and those raw ingredients are just going to use a lot less packaging. So evaluate those common items that you eat on a regular basis and see if there's a way you can make them from home and make them even more delicious. So that's going to be it for the tips, everybody. I hope these were helpful for you. I've been slowly diving into these things over the last couple of years and continuing to progress and get better. So if you're new to this, hopefully this can help your budget, help reduce some of that excess packaging waste. And I'd love to hear down below if there are any veterans out there. What is your favorite hack for reducing waste around the kitchen? Let's get that discussion started. But thank you all so much for watching. I will talk to you in the next one. Have a good one.